Pope, nothing is worth more than the life of a child. Speaking at the First International Summit on Children's Rights, Pope Francis urges world leaders to listen to children suffering from war, poverty, and migration, and reiterates his condemnation of the murderous practice of abortion resulting from our throwaway culture. Nothing is worth more than the life of a child. Addressing world leaders convened in the Vatican for the first Global Summit on Children's Rights on Monday, Pope Francis reiterated his impassioned plea for the protection of children who are victims of conflict, poverty, migration and of a throwaway culture, including abortion and neglect, insisting on the urgent need to listen to them. Love them and protect them is the theme of the event, at which panelists hailing from across the world are discussing children's protection from violence and exploitation, access to resources, access to education and health, and rights to a family. In his address, Pope Francis highlighted the ongoing struggles faced by children worldwide, emphasizing that despite global progress, many children still suffer from poverty, war, lack of education, injustice, and exploitation. The Pope drew attention to the particularly dire conditions of children in war-torn and impoverished regions, but also stressed that even in wealthier societies, children face vulnerabilities such as mental health struggles, violence, and social marginalization. To a much greater extent than in the past, schools and health services have to deal with children already tested by many difficulties, with anxious or depressed youngsters, and adolescents drawn to forms of aggression or self-harm. Moreover, a culture of efficiency looks upon childhood itself, like old age, as a periphery of existence. He observed that young people, who should symbolize hope, increasingly struggle with despair and a lack of optimism for the future. This, he said, is sad and troubling. One of the most alarming issues he addressed was the devastating impact of war on children. What we have tragically seen almost every day in recent times, namely children dying beneath bombs, sacrificed to the idols of power, ideology, and nationalistic interests, is unacceptable, he said. Victims of pathological individualism, Pope Francis denounced what he termed the pathological individualism visible in developed nations, where children often face abuse, neglect, or even infanticide by those meant to protect them. He again decried the loss of young migrant lives, as countless children die at sea, in deserts, or on dangerous journeys driven by desperation. This too is unacceptable, he said.